The one that I think the biggest mistake that I think that we make on the conservative side a lot, the one that trips people up the most, believe it or not, is the one that should be the easiest, which is to get happy. It's astonishing when I'm watching.
We don't smile much,
oh,
do
it's
we? Right.
appalling. And think about it. This is the greatest country in the history of the world.
Yeah.
We should wake up every day feeling so lucky to be Americans. But this whole doomsday set of scenarios that we're always laboring under, right and left, I mean, everybody's doing it. It's like the zombie apocalypse is upon us or something. Oh, this is the most important election of our lifetime. If the other guys win, it's going to be a jackbooted thug and a knock in the night. No, it's not.
Yeah.
We have better ideas to help people, and we're happy to be here, and we're delighted to have our values, not as a cudgel, not as a weapon, not to hurt somebody else, but as a gift. And we have to present it as a gift. We have to be happy presenting it as a gift. Look, we have a responsibility in this country. We should be happy. It's unethical for us not to be happy. Why? Because this country is a gift.
But
and
how do you,
it's ungrateful for us.
But how
to
do
not
you
be
do
happy.
that? How do you do that when you're talking about the arcane avenues and backroom conversations related to policy and all of the stuff that goes into making up, healthcare reform? How do you talk about these things? The party comes out and they says, "Oh, well, we want to repeal and replace," and that may apply and sort of amplify a sort of a visceral reaction we may have to big government intrusion into something like healthcare. But how do you talk about something like that in a happy way?
You remember the reason for the policy. So when you talk about Obamacare, for example, conservatives get apoplectic. It makes them insane, the whole Obamacare thing, because it seems like such an aberration from the whole American idea of doing things a relatively simple way and people looking out for themselves. It's really bureaucratic. It twists all of these incentives around the kind of the bureaucratic axle. A lot of things that conservatives hate. And so the result is they find themselves fighting against Obamacare.
Right.
If you want to be a happy warrior, remember the thing that you actually don't like and don't fight against it. Fight for the people who are being hurt by this. This is the key. This is the Reagan advantage for all intents and purposes. Reagan was a warrior, but he was a happy warrior because he was always a warrior on behalf of people who needed him. Now, there are a lot of progressives who are watching us today. They still don't like Reagan.
Right.
And look, nobody in my family voted for Reagan. Nobody, I grew up in Seattle, so like 8 people voted for Reagan in Seattle. And how he got elected, nobody knew.
Right? That's right. How did that happen?
It's impossible, right? It's mathematically impossible. And so they still say, his ideas weren't good, but remember what was written on his heart. And you can say the same thing about Bill Clinton, by the way. Bill Clinton rarely fought against things. He fought for people who needed him. He was a happy warrior.